I've got work to do and designs to make, so that's what I'm doing today. Keeping it simple yet again for the day. Just gonna hash it out. I'm just getting messages here, so I'm just gonna handle that for a second. Get comfortable, get working. It's actually snowing outside where I'm at. The ground is covered in snow. Pretty nice, calm sort of thing, you know. Makes me happy to be cozy inside working on some programming. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. I haven't really said this in a while, but thanks people who are following me still, and who have followed recently. I've not lately had follows while I was live, so it's hard to say thanks, but there's a few people on the list here that have followed recently, and just thanks in general. So if you ever watch it after the fact, just know that I do notice the follows and the support that way, and it doesn't go unnoticed. It's just that if it's not happening while I'm live, I can't necessarily call it directly. So thanks for all of that. Today's work, I have one quick thought about a rotation mechanic in the 2D polygon stuff I've been working on, and then I'm gonna just shift gears and go back to my desk design and plug away at that, get the app, like the interactive elements working, and a design actually built up. Hopefully I could get most of the design, at least a prototype version of it, kind of mocked, and then tweak it from there. That's gonna be the day. Nothing too complicated. Well, hopefully. Let me... Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, back looking at this for a minute. I've recognized I've kind of a problem I'm still struggling with when it comes to the rotation stuff, and I'll get into that in just a moment. I just am double checking audio because I mentioned it yesterday. This is still a new mic, so I want to just make sure things are okay. And when it comes to the rotation stuff, and I'll get into that in just a moment. I just am double checking audio because I mentioned it yesterday. This is still a new mic, so I want to just make sure things are okay. Can hear myself on the stream. That's professional. All right, let's pop the chat open there. Send a good old smiley face. Send a turtle. I wonder if that actually works. Huh, it does. Cute. Oh, ridiculous. I love it. Okay, I'm just spinning my wheels at the moment. You know what? While I'm wasting time on my phone, let me just do a little post to Twitter here. Designing. Oof. Okay. Almost done. Twitch.tv/Adam James _TV. Hopefully that works. Let me see if I could do anything useful. With a picture. Take a photo. Perfect. Let's see if this actually is useful to me. We'll find out. Tweet was sent. Beautiful. Okay, enough of that. Okay, I'm I'm suddenly inundated with messages that are relevant to the work I have to do, so apologies for not exactly starting things up here. I'm just sitting here typing on my phone. That's a little lame. In just a moment, I'll explain what the deal is with the weird shapes here, and something I'm struggling with in terms of implementing rotation and translation when it comes to group elements. And I'll kind of detail that in a minute. I just have to think about the approach a little bit. It shouldn't really be a big deal, but these things here are obviously in need of adjustment, right? That's what's going on, basically. That's basically the deal. Okay. Un momento, por favor. All right. Back to the chat. We're golden. Okay, this is what's going on here. So, excuse me. This figure 9 here, I'm in the process of setting up, and I realized some issues with my rotation implementation when it comes to group elements. So here, let's focus in on this block element here. Okay. It nicely, well, nicely is I guess a subjective concern here. Okay. I'm going to get rid of the other elements for a minute. So this is a group with 0 rotation, but I want to apply the rotation to the group as a whole. I can do any number of degrees and everything is working. Nothing is shifting around itself. Everything is working as intended. Now the problem is these components here are misplaced because of a difference between the calculation of the true midpoint of a polygon versus the midpoint of the polygon's axis aligned bounding box. So I'm struggling to find how to, I want to position things in a group based on the midpoint bounding box, but rotate them based on the true midpoint. And theoretically it should work, but I have a problem when I swap where I consider the group's midpoint to be, and I'm having a hard time trying to figure it out. So I'm just going to showcase that. I'm not going to solve it. I'm going to go and work on oh, I did something very wrong here. This has to be like that. There we go. I'm just going to show the issue so that if I explain it, then the back of my brain can kind of stew on it, theoretically. And then I'm going to switch over to designing my desk. I got stuck yesterday on trying to get a fillet function to work. I'm going to ignore that particular concern for the day. I'm just going to get some mock-up of all the pieces that I want to design and just kind of go from there. Oh, I have to refresh this, try to get it to... There we go. Okay, so this, right, is more in line with what I want. Excuse me. Where am I at here? The problem I run into here is if I have a 0 rotate, that is the shape it needs to be. It needs to hold that shape as you rotate through all of the degrees, but it doesn't. It's rotating and moving things around, right? And that's very clearly not good or correct. So if I rotate everything about some group midpoint position, a true, as it were, midpoint position, and not a midpoint position of the boundary, then the number, like then translating shapes around in the space becomes more complicated. The numbers are way more confusing and that sort of stuff. So this is a hard problem for me to try and solve, I guess, is the moral of the story here. So basically, if I go by the midpoint bounds, it gives me nicer numbers to work with, and so I can translate shapes by simpler numbers, right? So if I have a shape that I know its bounding box is 2 inches by 2 inches, if I translate it 1 inch by 1 inch, then it is a nice even number that I can put its corner on nicely. But if it's all moving around based on its midpoint, then I have a problem because the midpoint of a group will be different than its bounding box in many cases. I'm not explaining this very well. It's just basically I swap one problem for another, and I'm not sure what the correct solution is. I want to figure out a way to get this to work, because I think there must be a way. It's not coming to me at the moment. It's just not there. Just not there yet. It's really close though. That's the thing. It's very close to what I need. Well, like I said, I'm not going to dwell on this right now. This is a problem I need to solve, but I'm not in the mood to solve it at the moment. So what I'll be doing instead is zipping on over to a different project. Kill the process there, save this, kill that. Let's design / desk. I need a better name for this. Desk is kind of lame, but I mean, it'll be just fine for now, honestly. Honestly, it should be okay. Hopefully it boots up just fine. I don't see why it wouldn't. All right. Man, it's snowing nice and consistently. Just makes me happy, you know? Oh, I'm not paying attention. Computer's asking me questions. All right. Just have to let this compile for a moment. If anyone has questions at any point as to what I'm trying to do with this particular project, what I'm trying to write as like with code in general, you know, go ahead and ask. I like interacting with the chat and answering questions to the best of my ability. I'm not some super genius, but I know a few things sometimes. Not always, but I do my best. And I want to just chat with people, you know? Okay, so I have a Clojure script REPL here, and the effects of changing this document here, if I comment out a section here, it'll disappear here, and the code hot reloads. So I can use that to make kind of design prototypes and take things one step at a time from there. So one thing I want to duplicate is where is it? Here we go. Okay, this is another rough app I've worked on for a different design. Never actually produced it, unfortunately, but I don't really need to. But it has these sliders that cause change in the graphics here, so it moves actually. So I want to duplicate that a little bit for this other project I'm working on with the desk. So I want to be able to control a few key parameters basically. That's the idea anyway. So in order to do that effectively, I have to first remind myself how I did it. Of course. Let's go here, open up. Have a peek at this. I'm not going to open the REPL for this one, but I want to look at the state. So what I did, I put key variables basically in a state atom. And then I kind of linked those values into Yeah, let's see. Okay, design. The idea, let's do this here. So design is the set of parts. I don't want them to have any link to state. I want them to basically be pure functions, or as close to pure functions as I can get, that will, given some input, produce some shape output, some 3D object, basically. Then state, I want to be its own thing. Does that make sense? Let's actually split this here. State, taters, design, and then the state here, I can make def state like this, r/atom, which is a reagent atom, which is used for kind of wrapping up the React lifecycle stuff. I don't know exactly what the right way to describe it all is, but it's where I bundle all the effectively global variables, which I can change after the fact is the idea. And then basically I want to wire it all up so that the final components in the document are either just display things like text, or functions that are wired directly to the state and update their own view anytime their part of the state atom is updated. Does that make any sense? It might make sense. So the simplest way to do that, simplest way to start, I guess, is trying to think here about what I want to do. Let's do well, so the basic parts are the top, the work surface. Let's bring this up here. And in fact, this work surface component, I do want to split and move to its own little spot. Okay, which will be, oh, tube has to go up here. Okay. In fact, tube actually has to go somewhere else. I'll get to that in a moment. Components, there we go. So basically, let's see if I can make this make sense. In fact, before I do that, let's go into here. The bits thing is a spot to put functions that are just useful in the context of the design document itself, and I might copy them into my other libraries as needed. So tube should in fact be up here, and it shouldn't be a dash tube, it should just be tube. Oh, wait a second, there we go. Tube should be what's the right approach here? Tube should have a cross section and I actually don't know what I want to do here. Maybe maybe I won't make a full-on function for it, and this will be let me think about this for a second. Eventually I want to be able to do whole weldments, but that's probably not going to be in the cards for the day. So the work surface is done. Let's call it good. Let's do trying to think about what I want the leg to look like. Let's start with something really simple. It's gonna be blindingly simple and not the final design, but a starting set of components, or pardon me, a starting set of functions, so that I can kind of wire up the visual of the app a little bit easier. Hopefully that makes sense. Speaking of, oh, I put state in here twice by accident. Why did I do that? Oh well, it doesn't matter. Okay, doc intro is fine. Scratch component. Let's actually just delete it. Tube component doesn't currently exist, so actually I'll just get rid of it entirely. Okay, this I think should render. Oh, except that this is obviously garbage here. I kind of wonder if this is smart or not. Let's do work surface width. Let's bake in there the value I know I'm going to start with, which will be these values here. 57 width. The depth is 29.5 and the thickness is 1 inch. Not sure if nesting maps like that is going to be good or bad. I don't know yet. I'm gonna try it though. May as well give it a shot. Oh, of course I am jumping around, not actually writing things. So let's define the leg function to take a height. And what I'll do here is actually just do this directly. It'll be rectangle tube cross section with 2 by 2 by 0.14 section and f/extrude by the height. So that's a basic leg function, and that should be okay. So here I'll do, you know what, let's call it surface instead of work surface, just for simplicity here. No need to make it overly complicated. Surface leg height, which will be, I don't know, I have to measure that for a second. My handy dandy tailor's measuring tape, not a construction tape, but doesn't really matter for right now. It doesn't need to be that precise. So 28.5. Sure, 28.5 seems fine. I guess that'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. So then nicely wrapped up. Boom. Okay. Let's close this up again. Right, so is that gonna work? Hey, there we go. So what do I do with the state? Just thinking about this for a minute. Okay, this work surface component actually, before I do that, so we've got the leg, we've got the surface, and we're gonna do the assembly. Which is just gonna have, again, just to stub this in nice and quick, I'm gonna make it really simple. I'm gonna have a total height thinking about what the actual smart thing to do here is. So this is a little challenging in the sense that I don't know where I should put kind of like top level params atom. So the parameters here I'm considering as the top level. These are ultimately the things that the user will basically define. So it'll be the width, the depth, the height, and then the thickness of the surface piece, basically. I could keep it even simpler, actually. Let's assume that is done there. This is a little, I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but I'm gonna just give it a try. The height of the total thing is, like I established, 28.5. Okay, so state, should it be dependent on parameters? Is that smart or really dumb? I don't know. Well, let's do this as a start. So here, basically I know, so the reason I want to do this is to be able to do some of these sorts of things. Put T there. Okay, so the width is width of at params d at params, then t at params, the leg h is now it's derived from subtract d at params from t at params, and you'll get the height of the leg. Sure. I'm gonna say that's fine for the time being. Does it make sense? It might. I'll go with that. Oh, I should also make this consistent. Oh, it is consistent. Okay, so those are two state atoms. Params is ultimately the one that I want to wire up to some top level controls, which I should do with an approach similar to I missed something. Oh, great. All right. Beautiful. Right, how did I do this? So okay, there's a controller view here that might have something to do with something. All right, let me try this out. State components, let's do excuse me, let's define param controls, which takes the close the bits here, close that, close that. The params atom, basically. And I'll try to get this sorted out the way I want. Yeah, r/cursor params, and it's gonna be into W like that. Okay, and I'll just build that out for all four things here. I think that's okay. And width, depth, oops, width, depth, height, thickness. Okay. And basically what I've got going on there, I'm gonna make 4 sliders using this construction. So it's a div inside a div. Oh, these have to be width, depth, height, thickness, slider, width, okay. So that kind of works. So what is, well, I'm just gonna finish, I'll stub in sliders for everything for now. I don't like it. I don't love it, I mean, but okay. Okay, let's use that. So, width, depth, height, thickness, depth, height, thickness, oops, height, depth. Okay, so that is the set of sliders in a div. And when I display that, it should give me slider controls that can go from 1 to 100 in increments of 1. So state controls, part components, part views. Yeah, that's good. It's a good label. Scratch component I can get rid of entirely because I deleted it already. And I'm gonna render into this param controls, and I want to see if it's working the way I intend. Ooh, doesn't work. Oh, but that's because I have things that do nothing. Where am I at here? Let should be a vector. Where did I go wrong here? Oh, I did something wrong, right? Oh, I have to call this with something, right? I'm missing something. Parameter declaration let should be a vector. Yeah. What did I do? What did I do? Is the problem here? Man, I goofed up. Uh-oh. Where? Okay, something's just fishy. All right, what did I do? Let's have a peek here. Line 64. Okay, let's stop messing around here. Open it up. Design desk / source desk design. Let's go have a look at line 64 in the source here and see what I can find. Work surface component has a problem. But why? Oh, here. This is why. There's no, I need to, of course, close that. Yep. Okay. Let's get this back in order. Components, state controls, uncomment that, it should be fine. But here, work surface component needs that, of course, which will take the state, I believe, is what I want. There we go. Okay, so those numbers respond to the sliders. That's a good sign. Okay, so using that setup, what I would like to do now is have this work surface component take state in and grab out some values. And I'm just going to call it surface component. And the assembly here is just going to be surface component with the state atom passed in, and here I'm going to copy this approach in and paste that, but the state comes instead from here, so it has a different cursor. excuse me. So the width is a cursor from state, and it's first, it follows the path, surface, and then W. And that's the width of the surface component. The depth is D. And then one more thing, the thickness is T. Okay, and then here I don't have to pass in numbers, I pass in values, D, T. And I'll make this black and call that good. All right, let's see if this will actually respond in the way that I want it to. Huh, okay, it's not working. Why is that? Let's see here. All kinds of not a numbers again, not a big deal. Well, I mean, it's kind of a big deal. It's a problem. Okay, so presumably, well, let's try refresh this. Okay. Oh, I have to do this. I have to deref them, of course. That's what I need. Hey, there we go. Oh, it's not working though. Interesting. Okay. Let me check if I look at the doc here. Okay, I just pass in state. Oh, let's still a lot for me to learn in terms of like the most appropriate way to wire this stuff together. So it's a little bit of a learning curve on my end. What I hoped for was to see when I changed the thickness slider here that this would re-render with, you know, it would go wider and smaller, but that's clearly not the case yet. So I need to make sure it works, which I can, I just have to do it, you know. Okay, so this, I'm gonna try this. I don't think this will solve it, but yeah, that derefs the state right away. That's not what I need. I thought this would work. I don't think this is right. Yeah, that's what I thought. Huh, okay. Is it just that I can't have two? Something's not adding up in my mind here. So it is at least getting, so there are actual values here, right? So like if I change this and let it refresh, the thickness is increased. It's just not linked to this in the way I thought it would be. So that's obviously a problem. So I do wonder if it's actually like this, if I have to define state to take in params like that. And then returns this atom, but that seems like a bad design. Let's try it though. Let's give it a try. Well, it's obviously doing something. Yeah, okay. That does nothing yet. Okay. Ooh, that doesn't work the way I want. Got some weirdness going on here. Okay. So let's... I don't know. I don't know about that design. I don't think it's very smart. The only thing that I like is it can derive the height of the legs from the thickness without me doing anything weird with it. I'll have to think about this. I'm gonna be right back. It's also true that the controls for the thickness should be way different than this. It should be, let's go 1/4 inch to 5 with a step size of 1/4 inch. Starting at 1. Let's at least save that. Have a little peek at this here. Something's going weird with the jumps to infinity. I'll sort that out. I'm gonna get myself some coffee and go to the washroom. I'll be right back. It won't be long. I'm gonna keep working on this. All right. I need to sort this out. That's pretty straightforward, really, but I gotta do it. I just realized too that, so I don't know how, past couple of days and weeks, my chat's been really quiet, which is totally fine. I'm hoping things grow, and I love it when people are in chat. So I really do, I'm holding out for that to continue and to grow. But I did actually just surpass 100, surpass. I just got 100 followers a few hours ago, and that's something I'm proud of. The milestones at the start are arguably small in comparison to what other larger established streamers and programmers have going on, but I'm going to take good pride in growing at least enough of an interest to get 100 follows. Small win, but I'm going to take it, and I'm happy with that. And if you're actually listening to this right now or at some point in the future, and you're not a follower on the channel and you're not subscribed on the YouTube VODs thing, consider it. You can be part of building that number even greater, building the community up, that sort of thing. I would love it if you're part of that. It would mean a lot. And as this grows, I keep running into the idea that I really should be making some other video content on, if not on the VODs channel, probably on my main YouTube channel. Actually turn that into a spot where people can come if they don't have time or don't want to watch me doing streams. So, subscribe, follow, and pay attention for that kind of stuff too, because I got some stuff coming up soon. Yeah, that's really all I have to say there. So let's focus in on sorting out some of these problems here. Okay, so what's the deal? I wonder if that will force things. That doesn't really solve the problem. Okay, that's not it. Okay, wonder if that does it. Nothing's working. Float at T. Let's try that. I don't think it'll work. Okay, something's wrong with my approach here. See that if it's not it's rounding the number to, like, it's turning it into an int for display here. Even if I do this, I think Yeah, even that doesn't change it, and I don't know why that would be. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's pop open slider. Reset the value to oh man. Target value float. I don't know if that'll actually work or not. I think not. Let's find out though. What if the step size what if I do that? Force it to be float, reset the value to be target with value, and the value is always the float of the value. I don't know. I'm not convinced that that makes any sense. Still goes weird. Ugh, this is frustrating. Apparently it's also a little bit of a problem. I've got maybe a bad bitrate going on here. Sorry if that's slowing things down at all. What happens if I make the step size like some weird number? Okay, maybe the stream's going to be fine. I don't know. See there, it forces, so the step size is never going to be nice even numbers, which is unfortunate because it's super weird numbers, but it's smooth when it happens that way. So I don't know what the deal is there. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know how to fix that. But as a start, that's better than nothing. Ooh, gross. But it looks perfect, pretty much. I could make it I could round the number. Because that's atrocious. It's horrible. Why would it be doing it that way? Input min max step. Let's see if there's advice here. I've been on this page before. I'm pretty sure this is where I got the slider from anyway. Okay, here, sliders, right? They work with, yeah, okay. Oh, I wonder if I need this JS parse int thing. It might be important. What does it do? I don't know, that seems maybe like a stretch. On change, reset some value. I wonder if I should, instead of resetting it, if I should just do a swap. But it is just a single value that's... I don't know. Let's try this, JS/parse float. I don't think that'll really make a difference at all, but let's see if I can do something with that. It does end up causing problems here too sometimes, I think. Sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's not. That's the thing that is confusing to me. I very clearly need to understand more about this for it to work the way I want. It is really nice though that interactivity does actually produce a result. Like, I'm on the right track at least, which I'm happy with. But it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, let's try. Oh, wow, well, that solved that. Or it has the appearance of having solved that. It's smooth now. And it's got the parse float right here, which is nice. Okay, so maybe that's a win. I'll leave it that way for the time being. Let me also try to mess with these numbers. Ooh, hey, that looks like it might have solved my issue. Smooth. Okay, I'm already, I'm very happy already with that. Okay, so 3/4 inch, 1 inch, that's probably what you want. The width of the whole thing you can adjust, and the depth can be adjusted as well. Sweet. Okay. Now the next little thing here I want to try do is instead of this surface component here, which I'm going to remove, part views, I want to have the assembly component, not the surface component. So this is actually going to be assembly, which is going to take some set of values, and that's going to be a little bit different. Okay, components, design, assembly. Here we are with some of the slightly more complicated parts. So what I don't know is how to pass in the correct variables. So I'll just do it the way that pops into my head first. I don't know that it's going to be the most elegant, but it should work okay. Basically, here I've just got how do I want to do this? I should be able to do f/union, right? Yeah, okay. So what I'm gonna do here is, I think I can do reduce. Well, let's let let's let part A be surface with, okay, let's see here, width dt. Part A, part A, part B. Part B is leg with the height minus the thickness as the height. Currently leg is just going to be a function that takes only the height. Very straightforward. Now the next thing I need to do is translate the legs to the corners appropriately. Which for now is going to be let me think about the right way to do it. Let's do it like this. Let's let legs be into vector. Actually, I don't need to put it in a vector. I'll just do 4. Position in the list. For X being, trying to think of like a concise way to do this, but I can't really come up with one in my head, so I'm just kind of doing it the first way that comes to mind. Basically, I need it in all 4 corners. Each corner is half the width positive, negative, half the height, or half the depth, positive, negative, and then the Z value is a set value, which I can put inside the 4. But I'm just wondering if there's an even more concise way to do that. Pardon me, but I'm not going to worry about it because this will work just fine. For x being width divided by 2, let's make it a float, and width divided by -2, and y being the same approach, depth 2.0 and divided by depth -2.0. The 4 will bundle that up into all 4 corners automatically. I think it should work. Right, so for each of those, each leg is the result of running part B through f/translate x, y, and let's see here, I think minus h, which I might be off by a thickness value or something, but that should more or less be correct. And all I need to do then is, I think this should work. If I do reduce f/union, the list, which is how does cons work again? Cons puts things on the front, right? Yeah. So I can cons part A onto the list of legs. Maybe that'll work. Let's find out. See if my brain's right today. Okay, so that's the assembly, which takes width, depth, height, and thickness. Then the part view assembly component takes state and runs assembly with width. Where am I at here? Width, depth, height at h. And the only thing I need is the at h here, which will be not surface, but will be, where's the state? I'm losing my mind a little bit. State here. The height is, shouldn't that be 29.5? I think it's 20. No, that's fine. Right, so the height is in the leg H. So it goes like this. Leg H. Problem. Maybe that's not a problem. I don't know. No, I think I'm gonna be okay with that. Let's try it. Let's see if it, not quite. Okay, that is fine by me. Let's have a look at this here. Oh, it doesn't exist in the call here. So if I call assembly component with state, will it render? Ooh, it's broken. Let's see here. Let's inspect this and have a look. Head to this console. There's a bunch of problems, I'm sure. Yep. No protocol. Oh, wait. Okay. Oh yeah, I have this problem now. I don't know. There's got to be a smarter way to structure this, right? Try again. Hey, it renders. It renders a little bit backwards, but it's all moving, which is a... Oh, height's not... Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. Okay. Right, so what's the deal? Well, the next thing to do, the next important thing to do would be just thinking about why is the height not, so the height should absolutely change stuff here. Let me think about Forge. No, it'll be in stylo.org. Okay. Shape. Okay, this render curve business is something I need to fix up here. First of all, this color thing here I don't think is a smart approach. Render curves. I wonder if this will break things. Actually, I think I have an idea for how I'll make one thing about this a little bit better. And what I'll do is this. Okay. Render curve will not have a color element here. Just get rid of that. Did I mess something up there? I think that's fine. Okay, there we go. Now, oops. Let's see. Right. I wonder if I could actually do line instead of polyline here. can't at the moment because of how this subdivide curve is working. It's for all curves, even straight lines, it's running 10 iteration, like it's just getting a set of 10 points, which is not smooth, or not the smartest, but what can I say, it'll work for now. Actually, if I simplify segments, does this work? It completely eliminated. Shouldn't it have kept? Oh, maybe it has to be like this. Maybe it has to be. My brain's hopping around all over for a moment now. Okay. List of segments, not a list, or not a. Oh, that's not right. Huh. Okay. I don't know how this function works anymore. I've lost my mind. Might have to be 3D. Nope. Okay. Doesn't matter. I'm going to move past that for now. Okay, but render curve is not going to produce, or it's not going to take as a necessary argument, or I can't pass in the color for it. That's what I want to happen. This here, I want to transform the points through the orientation function. That's still true. That's what's responsible for rotating them into their appropriate projection, right? So isometric transform has a certain set of rotations that result in that image, and you can pass a top and a front view and stuff like that as well. I'm gonna leave that as is for now. I think there might be a smoother way to do it, but it's kind of okay. But here, what I can do instead, well, let's take out the color thing here. And what I'm going to do is make this work like the SVG components directly. It's not going to have style at all. It's just going to be wrapped in a group tag. Then I can control the style of it directly with the style element function in the component itself directly. Ooh, let me, I accidentally closed my chat window. It's just one of those days, you know? A little bit distracted, a little bit all over the place. It's just gonna be fine though. Okay. All right. Right, so this map here, I can just do it like this. Let's write it this way. Let's thread last. Shape curves. Map render curve transform over the list of curves. That's all good. And then do that, you just put that into group tag. That should work. I think that'll work. And then I get rid of color here. Now, save that. Oops. The other thing I have to do in here is have a look at isometric transform here. Because something isn't right with that yet. Something seems a little bit off here. I should test that in a minute, but before I do that, actually what I want to do is change this up to its new approach. Yeah, so here I'm actually gonna write this like this. Thread assembly at W at D at H at T through the function shape slash render curves with shape slash isometric transform. And then, since that'll be in a group tag, I can svg slash style element stroke black. Should work. That should work now. Let's see. Let's see if I am correct. Have a look. Oh, of course, in the shape namespace, SVG is a different namespace, so that indeed needs to have, where am I at here? Da, 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 da. Curve renderer. There it is. Hopefully that works. I think it should be fine. Uh-oh. Oh, I have a problem here. Let's try that. And this has to be a thread last, so refresh this. Okay, kind of. Okay, there we go. So we've got things rendering kind of the way I want. Let's check that this works. Green. Yeah, it does work. Okay. Stroke is that fill. This will look all wrong, or it won't work at all. Yeah, that makes sense. Stroke width, let's make it, yeah, that does work. Perfect. Okay. Sweet. Awesome. Okay, I've got full control over the styles of the curves, which is exactly what I want. That's good. I'm gonna get rid of that though. I don't really need it at the moment. Perfect. Okay, now I need to sort out, well, first of all, I gotta get the position of the legs correct. Because obviously they're wrong right now. So what's the right thing to do? I also don't know why the height isn't working. Oh, I know why. Because it's not... Well, this is wrong, first of all. Wait, what did I just do? H is what I meant. There we go. Now it's working. Perfect-ish. Let's go to the control here. The possible values of the height should be, I don't know, no smaller than 20, no greater than 60, with a step size of 1/4 inch. That should be, that makes sense for the height. The depth should be no smaller than 12, no greater than 50, 40, 48, 4 feet depth. That seems excessive, but let's let it be that way. 1/4 inch step size. I think a 1/4 inch step size all around makes sense for furniture designs. And the maximum width, (108), 9 feet. The minimum width, 3 feet. I think that makes sense. Okay, so using those values, you can slide things down, shrink things down this way, and bring the height down. So you can make like a little side table stool type thing, I guess. And now for the correct placement of these tools here. So what I need to do, I think all I actually need to do is adjust I think the tabletop needs to be translated up to the height of the legs. Because as far as I remember, well actually, oh, there's one little problem, and that is okay, let me sort this out. So what I need, the assembly component here is this object, which is the assembly, but actually, okay, I have to change the assembly function. Right, so here what I want to do is change the position of part B by making a oh, wait a second. What did I just do here? Part B. Oh, I meant part A. Sorry, that's wrong. So part A is, let's just do it all in one spot here. Thread surface WDT through the function f/translate 00 height. I think that'll be correct for the position of that tabletop. It should move it up here. Let's see if it's right. It's way wrong. What did I do wrong here? Let's have a look. Okay, so it's translating things. Everything is being translated the wrong way. Also, these should be height minus thickness. I think I messed that up earlier. Okay. All right, things are kind of correct, but not quite. Extrude T. Yeah, okay. I've confused myself yet again. Oh man, I always do that. Okay, so this translate height here, if I make it negative height, does it actually translate up? Okay, so I have a slight concern about an inversion of the z-axis or something like that. So this should be x, this should be y. If I want z to be up, then z up, positive x would have to be this way, positive y this way. Okay, I gotta sort my stuff out here. Okay, let me help myself out a little bit here by doing a few things. First of all, let's shrink the scale of this down so I can see more in the window. Let's make it 700 by 700. Okay, we can see a little bit more clearly. That's a step in the right direction. Now what I want to do is put a little bit of extra into here. Let's do helpers, thread last, f/circle. That's a thing, right? 2. That looks fine to me. Should be okay. Okay. f/circle. Actually, let's do it inside a for loop. Whoops. For point in some list of points. Make a circle, f/translate to point. Shoot, this is going to be I have to fix some things again, of course. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Do I have f/box? Cube? Box? Really? Okay. No big deal. Okay, so f/translate to point the shape, that is f/extrude, f/circle, yeah, I'll do it this way. Okay, thread first. f/circle size 2. f/translate. Ugh, I can't. Ugh, I'm not being very smart right now. I'll just do it I'll do it the annoying way. Okay, extrude this circle up to, translate it to point. That's the whole shape. That's fine. Thread that through these to get the shape I want with an outline of red. Okay. And do that for the points 0, 0, 0, 10, 0, 0, 0, 10, 0, and 0, 0, 10. Show me the helpers, please. Is it gonna work? Kinda. Fill should be none, but that's not a big deal. Okay, what's happening here? Which one's 0, 0? Oh, come on. I have to do this annoying thing here. Okay. Let's get rid of this one. Something doesn't make sense to me. Let's also change the size of this a little bit. All right, something is wrong with this, or something certainly doesn't make a lot of sense to me right now. Okay, so 0, 0, 0 is right here. Something's wrong with that, right? I want, maybe, okay, let's try this here. If I adjust the angle about the X the other way, it's not working the way I expected. Whoop. Not good. Ah, okay. X, Y, Z should be down then. Okay. What did I just do? What's going on? Positive X, positive Y. Why is Z the wrong way? What am I doing? Let's go here, FreeCAD. I'll be right back. Wait for it to load. Okay, so let me make a new file. Gotta give it a minute, I guess. There's the workbench. Pop the console here. Sure, that works fine for me. Just trying to make a new file and have a look at how okay, so this uses a Y up. I guess that makes sense. Maybe I should just go ahead and do that myself. So this is the orientation I'm attempting to get at. Oof. Kind of. Oh, you can't see it either. Well, you can kind of see it. Yeah, okay, so the top view is XY in this situation. Front is ZX. Okay, that's fine. This is kind of the orientation I was thinking of having. Although that doesn't make a lot of sense. Ugh, this is frustrating and confusing, actually. Like, it should be really straightforward what to pick. So it is not Y up as default, really. It is Z up in FreeCAD, right? Because top is at the in the Z, the positive Z direction. You know what? I kind of have the correct orientation here. So, well, kind of. Let me see here. Z is up. Let's confirm that. Yep. That's good. X so Y is that is this way, which is true here as well. And then this is X that way. So it does in fact make sense this way. Yeah. Excuse me. I really should have an axis tool for that. So to do that, let's change this one a little bit. Okay, let's just draw lines from 0 to 100 for each of these instead. I think that should work just fine, really. Then I can kind of see the orientation nicely as well. So let's just do zeros all around, and then only 100, X, Y, Z, SVG lines from those, and we'll make the stroke width 2. Let's actually do 1.5. Let's do 2 pixels, that's fine. Okay, that is axes ISO. Hopefully that works. I think it will. X goes from 0 to 100x, Y 0 to 100y. Perfect. Okay, so now I just want to render that into here as a good reference instead of these weird helpers. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so I can render right into this. I could just write oh, you know what? I can actually make this just a component directly, can't I? Yeah. That should be fine. That should work just as well. I kind of wrote it a little weird, but it should work. Axes ISO. Does it exist? I hope it exists. Please let it exist. Sweet. Okay, there we go. We've got something now. Oh, finally I have a little bit of sanity around it, maybe you could say. Let's make this 5 even. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. Ooh, I realized there's maybe even a better way to do this. I could do define axes and it can actually just be I'll leave it for now. I'll leave it for now. See, the problem with this one is that it has the transformation baked into it. What would make more sense is to have the axes just as a component of let's say like the render curves function. You could have an optional argument to render axes into it. That way you could render the axes accurately to whatever the scene's orientation is. So I need to build the concept of a scene and orientation anyway, so that's something to fix, really work on later. But now I can use this hopefully to get the right positioning of things and figure out what the deal is with the height being wrong on this transformation. That's the thing I don't understand. Because I don't think I paid attention to it really. Gotta fix it properly though. Width, depth, height, kind of working. Thickness, kind of working, but not properly yet. So what needs to happen is, first of all, I need to refresh this. Then save some change. The axes will get smaller in one of these renders. There, okay, now they're a lot smaller. It's a little easier maybe to use that as a nice reference. Okay, so what I want is the assembly here to be correct. Okay, so here, well, this shouldn't be negative. Okay. So something doesn't quite make sense, as you might be able to tell. If I translate the table surface to 0, 0, 0, the top of the table is at the 0 point on the axis, which makes sense to me. It's hard to tell, but I know it's right on that plane, which is a good thing. I obviously need it to be there. Then the legs have a height of h minus t, which makes sense. And then the position of the legs in the x and y is at the corners, which is fine for now. I need to move them in further, but I'll get there. And then I need to translate each of them to, maybe I don't have to translate it up at all. Maybe I translate it 0. Oh. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. So now what's happening is the leg bottom and tabletop are both on the 0, 0, or on the XY plane. So they're both at height Z0. Since the extrude defaults to extruding vertically along Z, both the surface and the legs are extruding upwards. So now all I need to do is translate the tabletop to position of height minus thickness. That's what I need to do, which is right here. And that should now have it properly situated on top. That looks correct. And now if I mess around with the height stuff, so the thickness, in theory, shouldn't change the height, but it is. So that's a little bit weird, but that'll be fine for now. The height is what it is. So something's a little wrong. Or maybe it's fine. It just looks wrong. You know what? I think it's actually okay. So the height of the top of the desk remains constant if you change the thickness, and it just changes the height of the legs. That's what I want to see. The height of the whole thing goes up and down when you change the height. The depth goes wider, smaller, like that, and then the width is like that. That's exactly what I want to see. So all I really want to do, I have to get going in a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually just move the legs inward just a bit. And then tomorrow, well, tomorrow would be no stream day, but Thursday I'll be focusing on a more intricate design for the actual legs instead of just these two placeholders, because I have a better idea for them, make them sturdy, look cool, and be kind of modular, which is something I'm pretty excited about. So that'll be a fun thing to do on Thursday. But before then, I think I'll just mess with this for loop here so that these leg positions are a little nicer looking. Although, bounding volume, I wonder if I could get really clever with this. Trying to think if for each leg, what I could do is calculate the bounding volume and just force it to move to okay, so bounding box corners does work with ooh, if I could type, okay. Just trying to be clever here, but I don't really need to be clever. I just wanted to be. Actually, this isn't that hard at all. So what I could do is actually do, so X is going to be half the width minus half of the leg width, which I know to be 1 right now, but gotta change that later. And then this one is actually going to be plus 1. Same thing here. I think that's all I need to do. Minus. So what I would like to have is a situation where instead of hard coding the width and height values of the leg, I want it to, so I give it the leg shape, I want it to find the bounding volume, use the bounding volumes width and depth in a calculation automatically so that I don't need to put it in there. It just automatically finds it. But using those should, yes. So those are aligned correctly on the exact edge of the surface, which is exactly what I was hoping to see. So the bounding volume is itself a shape. So I would need to have helper functions that help me find the dimensions of a bounding volume in x, width, and height. So let's consider that for a moment. Right, if I do f/bounding volume, wait a second, I could do bounding box corners, right? That gets me, oh yeah, right, so actually all I need is, excuse me, if I do apply f/v minus to the result there, okay, now I have the negative, and if I do map math/abs, map v math abs over this, oops, is math absolute not what? Okay. What? Oh, I have to do this, don't I? I think this will work. Yeah. Right, so using that setup, you know, actually I'll just do it in here for now, using the bits thing here. I'll just do define BV dims, bounding volume dims. Shape. Okay, so what do I do here? Exactly what I did here. So it's actually quite simple. I just run the shape through f/bounding box corners. In fact, I think I can thread last. Bounding box corners takes a shape that returns two points and then I can do apply f/v minus on those. Minimum minus the maximum gives me the distance between them, right? I could also do let me just make sure this makes sense. Instead of doing an abs, what I could do is just do Okay, here, apply FV minus to those two things. What I could do is, oops, apply FV minus to reverse of that. There we go. That's what I'll do instead. Apply FV minus to the result of reversing that. Okay, that BV dims should give me the ability to make the translation of this implicit, which would be extremely beneficial to me. I just have to go to the assembly. Right, so here I have I can do, I don't know, why am I calling it part A and part B? Top, leg, and here I'll do leg width, leg depth, leg height is the result of BV dim. Is it dims or dim? BV dims. BV dims of the shape leg. That should be exactly what I need. And then here, I can actually change the name of this to leg and union top with legs. And now here, all I have to do is change, let's make it just a little easier to read here. Change this to be like leg width divided by 2. Yep. And then that one's leg width divided by 2. And then this one, leg depth divided by 2. And this one is also leg depth divided by 2. That should make sense. Let's not bother with that. Okay, let's see if this works. If it works, I should see no change, which seems to be correct. And now to double check that it's actually correctly deriving this, I'm gonna make it a rectangle. Oh yes, it does actually work. Oh man, that's great. That is so cool. Okay, I'm really happy with that. 1 by 2. Okay, that is fantastic. That means, well, so it's really nice. That just means there's one less hard-coded spot that I have to worry about, and things are nicely still dependent on these components listening to the global state thing here. That's awesome. Okay. I am very happy with that. Okay, that is going to be it for me for the day, though. You know what? I had a good stream, all said and done. A little distracted at the start, a little bit of slow going during some sets of functions, but all in all, I have a nice setup to keep working on this design. I managed to make a really nice and simple approach to have some more implicit things calculated on my behalf, so I don't have to hard code some stuff, which is a big win. And I changed up a little bit of rendering stuff, which is nice. Gives me a little bit of control over the color of different renders, which I think is a pretty important step. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Uh, so I'll be going. I will be not streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow's a Wednesday. I always take the Wednesday to focus on uh, other important jobs I've got going on. But I'll be back Thursday streaming some more desk design, and Friday, hopefully finishing the desk design. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'll have to think about how I'm gonna deal with that. But that is gonna be all for me now. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good day.